Hey folks, Dan here. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm not going to talk about a comic, but rather a magazine. In particular, this magazine right here, the Wikid Publishing magazine. Now this was made available on the Wikid store late last year and is now currently available. I'll make sure to leave a link to the store in the description below. Full disclosure, content of mine appears in this magazine and I am affiliated with Wikid Publishing, but nonetheless I'm going to give you a very objective, unbiased review of the magazine and its content. So where do we want to start talking about the Wikid magazine? Let's talk first about the packaging the content comes in. It's a beautiful, full-color, high-gloss, perfect bound cover with exquisite cover art that was produced by the team of someone we all should know and love from Twitter, Ari on the line art, and Ian on the colors. Ian is a colleague of some other artist you might know, Leandro Panganaban, who was responsible for a book I may have mentioned a time or two. So let's look over the cover. It is absolutely covered, obviously, front and back with various Wikid characters. We'll start here. That's Maeve from Changeling of the Mythoverse. I may have mentioned that property once or twice. This is Jack Irons, who is currently on Indiegogo right now for issue number 3. Some chick created by some dipshit. I think her name's Adobe Kroger. That's John from Decimators by Canalis. Here we have Charger. This here is Lucia and Evelyn from Dreams of Peace, Acts of War. They're members of the War Dogs. That property is coming to us soon from our good friend Tank. Now this is, I believe, Sporkman. I think, going from the fact that he's got a spork on his face, I may have mentioned Sporkman also. I think that's what this character is called, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. This here is Elfia of Mythics, Matt Trin's property that belongs to the Mythoverse. Over here we have Titus and Tiberius from Project R, the comic that was created by the two heads of Wikid Publishing, Michael and Matt. Here's the main character of McKinnon Chronicles, another property from Matt Trin. Down here we have Doug and Nicole from Wrath. So it's pretty much a who's who of the Wikid Publishing catalog, all beautifully rendered in full color. So what can you expect when you open the cover? Well, as you can see, a lot of folks were responsible for the content that you're going to see inside this magazine. We have Salem LeBlanc, Cody Fernandez, Matt Trin, Mike Watson, Matthew Bryant, and our good friend Dollar Bin Reviews, all contributing written content. As far as comics go, we got Doug Curtis, the artist for Movie Men, some dipshit who really probably doesn't belong here, Michael Watson, Dan Garcia, Cheryl Rodriguez, and Raven Monroe doing comics. We have Troy Torres, J. Paul Sheik, John Bond, Eamon Swiss, and Aki T doing fan art, and Matthew Bryant doing the Wikid art. So there's a lot of people offering up their creative energies to make this a very fun magazine, and I think they did a good job. But what can we expect from all these creators? Well, just turn the page and you got the table of contents. We got the importance of writers who can connect us to our childhood, written piece. Let me see, page 6, an interview with Weaponized Nerd Rage. Page 11, Eye on the Mythoverse. I may have mentioned the Mythoverse a time or two. It consists of two very creative individuals, Brett and Matt, and some dipshit who just sits around and picks his nose. Page 15, we got Wikid interview with Rag's creative team, Brian, Trent, and Luigi. You got all three of them together. Page 34, we got some Wikid puzzles. Page 35 is a comic called Carousel. Page 44 is Call Me Chuck, written and drawn by some guy who really should do something else with his time. Page 59, we have Mythics, a short story set in the Mythics universe, called The Dread Spirit, written by Matt Trin. Page 70, we have Endemic. Page 81, more Wikid puzzles. Page 82, a manga review by Dollar Bin Reviews. Page 89, fan art pages, and page 91, a message from Wikid. So over 90 pages of content in this volume. It's a wonderful value, and I said high quality, perfect bound print cover. There's a lot to get into here, so let's just do a quick overview of each one of the features. I don't want to just go through it page by page. That'll take a while, and I want you to pick up this magazine and enjoy it for yourself. So let's get into it. So it opens up with a thoughtful article by Cody Fernandez, The Importance of Writers Who Can Connect Us with Our Childhood. It's a very insightful piece of writing that I think you will get a lot of value out of. After that, we have an interview conducted by Salem LeBlanc called Eye on the Mythoverse, in which he spoke to Matt, Brett, and some other dude. And we basically just tell the story of how we got together and how the Mythoverse came to be. And there's this exquisite black and white print of Adobe, Elfia, Maeve, and a special friend backing them up. After that, we have the Wikid interview with the Rags creative team, Brian, Trent, and Luigi. And I won't go through it blow by blow, but if you've ever spoken to any of these guys, you know that they are really, truly a group that needs to be seen to be believed. They are a lot of fun. They are highly creative, and they're just dudes like you and me doing their best to put out something that we can all enjoy and that they themselves also enjoy. After that, we got a Wikid crossword puzzle that tests your knowledge of Wikid properties. Then we have a short comic called Carousel with story and art by Doug Curtis, the artist responsible for bringing the visuals for Movie Men, a comic I reviewed a little bit earlier. Now this, his style is still very evident. I mean, this very much looks like the style he used in Movie Men, only it's in stark and sharp black and white. Very clean lettering, very creative layouts, some very nice use of high contrast black and white, and speed lines, and dynamically shaped panels. So again, not going to go blow by blow, but check it out. It's a nice little piece of work. Then there's this, Call Me Chuck, a short story written by this guy, and it is a spin-off story set in the Molly Beans universe, centering on her love interest, Chuck Harris, and how he came to be who he came to be in the Molly Beans comic, and how meeting Molly herself turned everything around for him. So it's in black and white, but of course I have to get all artsy-fartsy and have one thing be in color, which is Molly's blue lock of hair, and that's important later for obvious reasons. I really do miss being able to sit down and draw Molly Beans comics. Life just got away from me when I took on the Mythoverse, but you know what? I still have plenty of ideas for this gal and her one true yeah boy down there, so let's see if I can get something going this year. That would be a lot of fun. So then we have a nice little short story written by Matt Trin, set in the world of Elfia Fletcher. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I want you to go read it for yourself. Now here is something interesting. We have a short story called Endemic, a short graphic story. Issue number 1, Gangland, written, created, and lettered by Michael Watson of Wikid Publishing. We got line art by Dan Garcia, flats by Cheryl Rodriguez, and colors by, yep, the Raven Monroe. So you can tell you're in for a treat here when you see her name on any project. So I'm joined by my lovely daughter right now. Say hi.
Hi.
So I'm just looking over this this comic here, Endemic, and the colors just pop right off the page, and the action obviously is very exciting. I think what really makes this, though, is absolutely the coloring. Raven really knows what she's doing. The contrast of the purples and the reds and the greens really make for an exciting composition here. Okay, after that, we got a Wikid word search. You look for various Wikid titles: Barrels, Changeling, Charger, Comics, Movie Men, Elfia, etc. And then we got a manga review, 2019, by someone that I sorely miss on Twitter and on YouTube, Dollar Bin Reviews. If you've ever followed his YouTube channel, you know why I miss him. He definitely puts a lot of care and love and energy into his reviews. And then we got some Wikid fan art here. Troy Torres, a whole bunch of Jack Irons fan art. A nice thank you from Wikid Publishing and the answers to the puzzles. So, all in all, this is a very good value for what they're asking for on the Wikid Publishing store. I would highly recommend checking it out. If there's anything that I would say that can be improved for the next edition of the magazine, the layouts could stand to be a little bit more dynamic, especially for the articles. But that's really my main criticism. The content itself is definitely very interesting. This book is dense with interviews, articles, stories, comics, art, everything that you could possibly want to see from a publisher. It's a nice showcase of the catalog, and it's, like I said, beautifully packaged. It feels substantial. There's a lot to check out, a lot to enjoy. So, that's all I've got for right now. The Wikid Publishing magazine is available on the Wikid store. It's well worth a look, even though it has this stuff in it. But you know what? That's fine. Just flip past the stuff by that weird guy and you'll have a wonderful time. So until next time, stay safe and stay sane.